welcome to episode 72 of Movies and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Marcus.
And this is the review show that reviews genre movies from the beginning, sometimes. Today, we are covering the 2010 release, direct-to-DVD film release of Batman.
Huh.
That's weird.
You see it too, right?
Yeah, I was like, wait. I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
We're covering Batman Under the Red Hood, but for some reason, above the poster on the Wikipedia it says Batman Into the Red Hood. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I just caught that. That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's not right.
No.
So yeah, we're covering the 2010 release of Batman Under the Red Hood. I guess I'll get into the credits to get them out of the way. It was directed by Brandon Vietti. Written by Judd Winnick. Produced by Bruce Timm and Bobby Page. It stars Bruce Greenwood, Jensen Ackles, who is from Supernatural, and The Boys.
He is in The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds like someone else, though, when he does the voice in the movie. He sounds like Nathan Fillion.
He doesn't sound like himself, though.
No.
He's a good actor, though.
He is.
Alexander Martella, Vincent Martella, John DiMaggio, which is obvious.
His voice, I thought would be more distracting, but it wasn't.
It was distracting for me in the beginning, but as it went on, I kind of got used to it.
Yeah, because I was expecting, I wanted, of course, Mark Hamill, but like getting him, I thought I was going to hear Bender / Jake the Dog. I didn't hear any of that, so I was like, okay.
No, I heard his regular voice.
Yeah.
So I think he was miscast. I'm not gonna lie.
I think even Bruce Greenwood. None of these guys are bad actors or anything. No, I'm not saying they're bad actors or whatever.
Bruce Greenwood was, but I could hear instances where he did sound like Batman.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, like Jensen was solid all the way through.
Yeah.
But like John DiMaggio was solid, but he sounded like John DiMaggio a little too much.
Yes.
And then we have Neil Patrick Harris.
Who did he play?
Nightwing. Dick Grayson.
Oh, he did good as that, honestly. Because I didn't hear him. I heard Dick Grayson weirdly.
Jason Isaacs is Ra's al Ghul.
Yep.
Wade Williams, Jim Pittick, Gary Cole, Carlos Alice Raquel?
That was funny. It's not our first time seeing him in these movies. He was in something else. He might have been another one of these animated ones, but he was another actor.
Anyway, Robert Cloworthy, Brian George, Kelly Hu, Phil Lamar.
He's in all these as well.
Yeah. Kevin Michael Richardson, Dwight Schultz, Fred Tatasciore, Carrie Tombazian, Andrea Romano, Bruce Timm, Michael Villani. For some reason, we got an additional thing in the Wikipedia that's usually not here that says crew. Andrea Romano as voice director. I don't know why that's there.
Huh, yeah.
That's weird. Anyway, that was the credits. The movie is 75 minutes long, an hour 15.
Wasn't too bad.
No, in and out. Your turn.
The box office is $0. I thought gross, what did it say in the behind the scenes? 12 million, I think?
Yeah, it was... 12 million,
yes.
12 million domestic video home sales, making it one of the highest grossing DC animated films.
Which is good. That's really good. Let's go to 12 million section. That's right. Let's go that low. Let's go to the 90s. At number 90 or 100. I don't think we did 100 last time, did we? Let's do it 100 because it's movies I know in this one. Let's do 100. So 100 is 127 hours.
I don't know what that is.
Starring James Franco as the guy who got stuck at a rock because he was hiking by himself and
He got caught at a rock.
He got caught under a rock with his arm stuck under it.
Oh, under a rock.
Yes.
I thought you said at a rock. I was like, what?
No, and he had to cut his arm off. It's based on a true story.
Okay.
Yeah. That's okay. It was like Oscar nominated. I think I have one Oscar, Best Picture. Maybe not, but I know it's nominated. Anyways, number 99, Devil.
No idea what that is.
Devil. Neither do I. Number 98. Elite.
Wait, is that an M. Night Shyamalan movie?
It might be that one. It is that one. A group of people trapped in an elevator, and the devil is mysteriously amongst them.
I did hear that one. Never saw it, though.
Yes. Number 98 is Elite Squad 2, The Enemy Within.
No idea what that is.
Neither do I. Number 97, Hot Tub Time Machine.
Never saw it.
So good. That's why I picked this, because I like that movie, so I'm talking about it.
Never even saw them.
The second one sucks, but the first one's good. Number 96 is Skyline. It's another bad one. Sci-fi movie.
No idea what that is.
Yeah, it's not good. Number 95, The Next 3 Days.
Nope,
neither do I. Number 94, The American.
That sounds familiar.
I think it's Ben Affleck. No, it's the other one. He was Batman. He was the bad one.
Wait, what?
Clooney. I'm pretty sure it's Clooney.
Oh.
Let me Google it real quick. That's not important, but I'm doing it anyways. Yeah, George Clooney. Apollo. Can't say that name. At number 93. Oh, Legion. It's the Angels Demon movie.
Oh, the sequel to the Da Vinci Code?
No. This one's has Dennis Quaid and Paul Bettany.
I don't know what you're talking about them.
I feel it'd be kind of up your alley, but you definitely hate it too. It's okay. It's an okay movie. It's just people stuck in a roadside place and the world's coming to an end, and then the angel, Paul, or one of them is trying to save people and have the people. The movie happens. It's a movie. Number 92 is Bestseller. Apparently it wasn't a bestseller at 92.
I know.
At number 91 is Takers. And at number 90, The Last Exorcism.
Like, I've heard maybe one or two of those movies.
Yeah. And some of them are okay movies, honestly. But that's it. We'll code 90 to 90. I'm not gonna promise what we're gonna do next week, but we're gonna do some more next week, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do some random lists because next week's gonna be an animated movie too.
Yeah. Spoiler.
If you want to know what next week's movies are, look at the list of movies.
No, don't say that because it might change.
I mean, technically, in the main show, it will always be the same.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
Just because a month of theme months doesn't necessarily, that's going to be labeled differently than this.
I was saying how Wikipedia changes sometimes, so like.
Oh, that's true, but it would still be in chronological order.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
No matter how they decide to screw up the list, like they moved the movies out of the categories that we've covered before and stuff into different categories, but still chronologically in the same order.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Anyway,
that's box office. Going back to you, TJ.
Behind the scenes, nothing really.
Just movie stuff. Nothing new.
No, there's really nothing to talk about. It's an animated movie. There's really nothing interesting behind the scenes. It got a is that true? On Rotten Tomatoes, Batman Under the Road has an approval rating of 100% based on reviews from 7 critics with an average of rating of 7.3. Oh, so it's 100% Rotten Tomato on the critics.
Huh? Really?
That's what it says.
I refuse to believe that, but I don't care looking into it. This movie's not that good. I'll say it now. It's not that good to have 100%. Not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not a 100% movie.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, looking at all of the critical receptions, everyone seems to love it. 8 out of 10 here. So, yeah, a lot of them. There was a follow-up to it called Death in the Family, but it's not a movie.
I thought it was.
A interactive short film.
Wow, this does have 100. Ew, that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
No, it's not in the list.
Thank God.
I'm like, I didn't even know what it was. I was like, I looked at, when I clicked on it earlier, it had like a Blu-ray digital thing. I was like, why didn't I know this? This is a big storyline in Batman, Death in the Family. Why don't I know about this movie? And then it's because it's not a movie.
That makes sense. How does this have I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes. It does have 100%. 92% audience score. That's really high, TJ.
That's because it is a good movie based on a good storyline. Like,
yeah, but I don't think it's 100%, TJ.
Based on a classic storyline. I was really curious about your opinion because I was coming at this from a bias standpoint.
Why bias? Because you read this stuff beforehand, I guess?
Because I know the actual story from the comics.
Okay.
And the things that they changed, I don't agree with. I was not liking certain parts of this movie.
Well, we'll talk about it, I guess, when we get into it, because there are some things I don't like about the movie. I have seen this before, so this isn't new to me. Granted, I have not seen it all the way through before at one sitting. So I've seen parts of it, large chunks of it at times, but I haven't seen it. So it's my first time sitting through it like this. And there's still things I don't really enjoy about this movie. So that's why I don't think it's 100%.
I had never watched the movie before.
Oh, really?
No, this is my first viewing of the movie.
Okay.
But I have read the Under the Red Hood storyline several times. I own the graphic novel.
Okay.
So, yeah, and there was like certain parts of it just I couldn't decide if it was my own biases coming to this and me being a purist or if there was generally problems with this.
Well, I hope when we get to those points I can speak up before you do, and actually we have the same feelings. If not, but I'm curious to see what
overall,
it is.
I thought it was an objectively good movie. Maybe it's not a perfect movie.
Agreed. That's why I have issues with this being 100%. Again, that's why critics and shit are stupid and fucking. It's art, so I can't disagree with them, I guess. But this isn't a 100% movie.
Not critically, but I could see the 92 from
Yeah, that's more fair.
from the audience, you know.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not going to give it that high.
No, I was just gonna say the same thing. Like even that's still too high, but it's still more acceptable than 100%.
Right.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same page, CJ. I'm glad we're on the same page.
No, this is a really good storyline,
It is. It really is.
and I just don't agree with some of the changes. Although there's one or two that are better than the comic,
Okay.
so I will give that caveat.
Oh, this is fun. This is fun.
All right. Is that it for that?
Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 has 100% too.
I'm gonna rip that movie apart.
It's like, this is why I don't like, this is like, hey, people keep listening to us. We're good critics, but that's why I don't listen to critics and people's reviews sometimes. It's like, really? 6 reviews on that movie. Give it 100%.
But don't even, to be fair, that's only 6 reviews.
TJ, the Wonder Woman movie you both hate has 83%.
Yeah, I know.
That's high.
I actually debated going on there and giving my own review to bring it down.
Oh man,
just because it's garbage.
But again, last week, what movie? Jonah Hex. People were bashing Megan Fox for that movie. Like she's barely in it, so you can't even bash her. So you know, people have their biases.
People don't look at things critically and objectively. They use their emotions,
which is fine. But like,
judge things.
You gotta be realistic. She's in it for like what, 3 to 5 minutes, if that. That's me being generous. Like you can't give her the worst reward for a female artist in a movie.
So since we're going backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start by going backwards. You watched the DC Showcase The Spectre.
Yes, sir.
I already gave my review. What do you think?
I hated it.
Really?
I hated it so much. And not for the things, like, it was, 12 minutes, give or take? 10 minutes? Yeah, it's 10 minutes. So, like, I know they can only do so much in a short story, 10 minutes. But I can know they can do things as well in a short story, 10 minutes. And I feel that was just like, wouldn't it be cool, guys, if we did this, this, and this, and this? It suffered from the Jonah Hex movies. Like, here's a bunch of cool ideas and, like, no story. It's like... There was
still a story to it.
The story is...
him solving a murder.
No. Because him solving a murder in a film noir style involves a story, TJ, of like, okay... clues and hints and follow-ups and shit like that.
Clues.
What clues were in there, TJ? It's just like here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this.
The clues were, you know, he followed up on the suspects and he used his supernatural powers to get them to confess.
Yeah, but like not really. They didn't like one confessed in the beginning. The other one's like, I'm gonna kill you now. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. It's like, oh, by the way, I'm the Spectre, guys. Isn't that crazy?
The other one confessed and let them know that there was another one involved.
It just didn't feel like I'm expecting like a detective. Trying to figure this out.
It was a short 10-minute.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Detective thing.
I know.
With cool things. That's all you really needed.
That's the problem. It was cool things, and it felt like it should have been more. It felt like it should have been more like... Because it starts off with, I have a secret, and I'm going to tell you by the way, I'm the Spectre at the end.
Do you not get the premise of the DC Showcase?
The show? No, I got it, because I saw the next one. We'll probably get into.
But like
I get the premise.
The whole point of the showcase is to give you a taste of the character, so you'll go and check out the character.
Yeah, but I don't think this one did this justice. It made me want to know more, yeah, but like I was more irritated than like curious.
You're wrong on that one.
I knew you would. I knew you wouldn't like it. I was sitting here watching like this 10 minutes of my life. I was like I wasn't angry. I'm like, there's some things here for a cool. It'd be a great TV show, man. It'd be a fantastic HBO or whatever phenomenal show. I would watch it day in and day out because it seems like a great Disney Plus, whoever owns the rights at that time. But as a 10-minute short, is like they could have done it better.
I don't think they could have done it better. I don't know how you would have done it better.
They could have just... I think the thing was too broad and big for 10 minutes.
I think you wanted more than what was able to be given in 10 minutes. It sounds like you wanted to be longer.
I wanted to be long, but also, again, they were saying, like, his opening thing was, I have a secret in this town. And then the last 30 seconds is, I'm the Spectre. Like, no shit, you're the Spectre. Why waste my time with this? Who are you? Who's the Spectre? I feel like it was kind of leaning into that. It's like,
because
I don't have time for that.
They let into that so you'll go check out the comic. That's the point.
Yeah, I just don't give a shit. Like, I felt like it was like a bad Scooby-Doo. It was a bad 10-minute Scooby-Doo bullshit thing. I'd rather watch Scooby-Doo. It felt
was
like a
not
weaker.
Scooby-Doo.
It was bloody. It had some cool kills. The cars, the tornado, like the animatronics. There was some cool shit in it, TJ, for sure. But it's like,
This is
man.
why I think you're broken, because and that you're too cynical on things.
No, because I was like, this could be something. Because I've seen 10-minute shorts done really f***ing well, and this was not done really well.
This
like,
wasn't
it was okay.
This wasn't a standalone short. This was just a broad show you a broad strokes of what the character is.
It was
and
too
so you
broad.
would go,
Like, I think the next one we see was much. This was the first one I saw. I was
All
like,
right,
damn. So the bar set low. Let me get the next one, and my bar was set low. Like, okay, this is how the first one should have been.
Okay,
This one, because the first one, I think it was just too. It was too big of a thing for them to tackle.
That's fair. I think you're wrong, but okay.
Yeah. I knew you wouldn't agree with me, obviously, so I knew that.
So I own the Blu-ray of the Batman Under the Red Hood,
Yes.
and it comes with the DC showcase of Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex.
What did you think of that one?
I loved it. It had my issues with it, but I liked it more than the Spectre. I liked it more than Jonah Hex movie. Like, this is how the Spectre one should have been. Not obviously story-wise, but it was just like, this felt more containable and real to me.
So I actually like this one less than the Spectre.
Why?
I don't know. It just felt less. Like, I felt like it was just really, really self-contained. You know, it was like, this is just any other cowboy thing. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't showcasing what Jonah Hex is, so to speak.
But I think it kind of does. But, like, okay, it shows you that he doesn't care. He's a merciless guy who's just out for the money and bounty.
All right,
you don't learn much about him.
You know what? Hold on. Just go through the plot real quick.
Of which one? This one?
Yeah. Because I did the plot of Spectre a couple episodes ago.
So the plot, am I getting detail with it? Because I didn't take
just give a generalization of it.
Okay, so we're in this town. One guy shows up. He's a bad guy.
It's a Western, by the way.
It's Western town. Old Western city in the 1800s, whatever the f***. So some bad guy shows up. He's rowdy and bad. He goes to a saloon. He gets introduced to the lady of the night. She invites him back to his room, and she kills him because that's her MO. Apparently, she kills guys for reasons.
To rob them. Is
she robbing them?
Yes, because she's finding out who the most affluent guys that come in and wave their money around.
Okay.
Because then she kills them. Because after she kills this guy in bed, they show her taking the money out of his pocket.
Oh, she does, doesn't she? Yeah. So she kills him, robs them. She has her goons dispose of the bodies in a cave. We find out later. And so Jonah Hex comes in, searching for this guy who's been killed.
In a mine, by the way.
In a mine. I said cave, I'm sorry. In a mine. So Jonah Hex comes in looking for this guy's bounty because he's a bounty hunter. So Jonah Hex puts up the clues to the guy. I think this movie did the clue thing better than Spectre too. Because he finds...
he's looking for this guy, no one's knowing it, and then someone comes up and says, I know what happened.
Yeah.
And so they did that in the last one too.
I know, but for some reason this one was better. Maybe because Jonah Hex's character was more like... I think understandable to me, I guess.
I think you just like the Jonah Hex character better than the Spectre.
No, I love the idea of the Spectre, of a ghostly guy that does shit like that. That's awesome. It was just, I guess it was too much of, like, I didn't know who this character was, so it's like, you're giving me 10 minutes, like, you're not explaining anything to me. Besides some bullshit I don't care about.
I know who the Spectre is. He's the vengeance of God, the spirit of vengeance.
He kind of says that in the Spectre story, but it's like, you're not really doing much to it. You're just showing me you killing guys. Like, I don't know.
Like the Christianity God, not like the gods, the actual Christian God. So
that's cool. I would love to dive deep into that for sure. That'd be a great show. Especially I'm against the superhero shows. I think that'd be a great one to follow. But anyways, back to the Jonah Hex thing. So Jonah Hex finds out she's the one that kills the guy. So he does that. So he tricks her into taking him in. He attacks her. Kills her goons. He makes her take her to the pit where she hides the bodies. He takes the corpse that she killed, leaves her there for her to die, and rides off in the sunset.
Yeah.
It's simple, but I think it's self-contained and linear enough to make sense. Like, I don't know. I don't think the other one was not linear, but not... He can't do a detective thing like that in 10 minutes, I feel.
I think they did a fine job with it, the detective thing.
I hated it. I like the premise, I like the concept, I like the idea of it. It's just like, I like film noir a lot, and like, this isn't it. So...
give the Spectre one a grade.
Okay, did you give it a 1 to 10 last time?
Yes.
A 3 out of 10.
Wow.
I like the basis of it, but everything else is like,
okay. Wow. We're complete opposites. Go ahead.
We really are. But we agree on a lot of things too sometimes. That's why it's just fascinating to me. Yeah. The Jonah Hex one?
Yes.
A 6.
Wow.
That's 6. I was thinking 7, but even...
really like?
Because I understand how simple it is, TJ. I can't give it a 7. There's nothing revolutionary. You know where it's going. There's no like, oh wow.
No, but it's not about that. It's like your enjoyment on top of your what they're doing, what they were doing, fine with it.
No, it was fine. I haven't had some issues with it, but overall, I think it's just a 6.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know. What'd you give this one?
I think this is at an 8.
What?
Yeah, short, simple, competent storytelling with a fantastic character, and even though I didn't like it as much as the Spectre one, it's still good. I would recommend these shorts over watching a movie any day of the week.
Well, see, that's because of 10 minutes compared to an hour.
I know, and that's
12 or something.
And I think what they did with their 10 minutes was fantastic.
I think what they did with 10 minutes was fantastic. I think the other one was blah.
But your Fantastics is only worth a 6.
Yeah, because I know, like, if I'm recommending a short, go watch this one for sure. But I don't think I could just go around recommending these to people. Because, like,
I would. I'd be like, if you like superheroes, these are 10 minutes in and out. You learn about a character you probably never heard about before, and you might get interested in them.
That's fair. That's adamantly fair. I respect that. I agree.
Yeah. I really like them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're better than the movies.
Oh, yeah. Because like you said, they're in and out, so they can't be too weighed down by some extra storyline you don't have to follow or plot holes or shit like that. You can't f up 10 minutes of story except for Spectre.
Didn't f it up.
Yeah. I wanted to like it, I promise you. I wanted to this should be good.
I know. You just can't. You don't have that part of your being that allows you to like things. It's okay.
Wait, what?
You don't have that part of your being that allows you to like things. It's okay.
I liked it. It's like this is good. Like, again, it'd be a great show. Give it a modest budget and give me that'd be a fun every season is a different story for him to follow. I think that'd be great, TJ. And the seasons will only be 5 episodes long, 7 max. You don't need long episodes, long season. I think it'd be a phenomenal show.
That's fine, but
the thing I saw
This wasn't the purpose of that.
I know, but I think the purpose, and I guess in that sense, it gave me something to kind of look forward to, but it made me more annoyed than curious.
They literally give you an ad for comic book shops in the beginning of each of these showcases.
Yes.
They're like, look at this cool character. Look what's in these comics. Come to the comic book shop and check these out.
Yes. So, I was like, yeah, you're right.
So, you're allowed to have your wrong opinion. It's okay.
My wrong opinion. Opinions can't be wrong. That's a lie. That's a lie, actually.
All right. Are we done with the showcases?
Yeah, until the next one. Let's get this review, TJ.
Well, before the review...
Trailers?
I have trailers.
Ooh.
Not only do I have trailers, but I also have 4 episodes of the Batman animated series on this Blu-ray too.
Oh my goodness. Well, you review them while I zone out.
I'm not going to review them. There's Robin's Reckoning, which was Robin's origin story, which fits with the story that we're going here. We have Mad Love, which was Harley Quinn's origin story.
You said Mad Love?
Mad Love.
Okay.
And then The Laughing Fish, which was the Joker episode where he poisoned fish to laugh, to smile, and stuff. Classic episode.
Is it? That sounds really torturous, and I feel like PETA would have had issues with that one.
It's the Joker.
It's killing fish.
Yeah, doesn't matter. It's the Joker. They said all you have to say the Joker did it, they'll be like, oh.
It's TJ. It's PETA. Come on.
It's a cartoon, and it's the Joker.
It's PETA. You know how PETA is.
No, actually, I really don't.
They're just extremists in their beliefs. So of course, anything that shows harm to creatures, factual or non-factual, I feel they get their panties in a bunch.
Doesn't matter. The episode aired in 1993.
Yeah, so they were active back then. If anything, more so then than they are now. So I feel like they would definitely.
The Joker fish are classic comic staple at this point.
I never heard of them.
Really? No, it's a classic episode.
He literally my first time hearing about this.
He creates he uses his Joker toxin on fish, and they look like smiley Joker fish.
Why does he use them on fish for?
I don't remember the episode.
That's why I feel like PETA would have an issue with that.
It's the freaking he mass murders people. Why does he do anything?
Because his people need to die in some people's viewpoints. But fish? What did the fish do to Joker?
I think he was poisoning the waterway or something, or I don't remember.
No. I guess be in mind. I don't know if PETA would have had issues with the fuck damn if I know. I wasn't, but I just feel like that's something they would be upset with. 1,
it's the Joker. 2, no one gives a fuck what PETA says. Right?
I know because they're extreme. I know, TJ. I agree, but I was just I don't know how I got into that, but yeah, I agree.
And then I got a really weird ad
Oh God.
for MaddieCollector.com.
Spell it out, Maddie.
MaddieCollector.com, which is
Mattie or
hold on, for Mattel toys. Now I went to it and I got 404. Sorry, this page cannot be found on
Nope.
the Mattel website.
I got it. I found it.
Okay.
Matty, right?
Yep. MaddieCollector.com.
So you go to Google, type in MaddieCollector.com, Matty collector, and the first one that comes up is creations.mattel.com. So they might have changed their user.
They must have changed it, but
Yes.
the ad's wrong because that's what I got. I got 404. Sorry, this page cannot be found.
They have Pokemon Legos, TJ. They have a Black Barbie doll. They have He-Man. And they have other things.
It was just
Hot
the weird.
Wheels.
It was just a weird ad.
Oh, I mean, I guess they have partnership with them back then.
I
Little
guess.
People Collector. What? This is this. That's creepy.
I don't know. I just thought it was a weird ad, and it's the first time we got a website like ad.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. They have WWE collectors.
Anyway, I also got a trailer for Jonah Hex motion comic.
God.
So
Jonah Hex style, TJ.
yeah, well, this is weird. Honestly, I'll get to it in a minute. But I also got a trailer for the animated Lord of the Rings movie from 1970, the Ralph Bakshi one.
Oh, wow.
So
If you guys want us to review it, get in our comments.
it's never be unless you pick it or something.
We're watching it, TJ.
And then we got another trailer for Legends of the Guardians, that Owl movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why they're all over these superhero movies.
Yeah. I guess time period that came out.
And then this is where things get confusing. I got a trailer for Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, a first look.
Oh, wow.
We covered that already.
Yeah.
It came out after this. So I'm wondering if this movie got delayed.
Oh, it might have. But they would have mentioned it, though.
Yeah, because not only have we have a first look for Two Earths, but we have a Jonah Hex short that came out after the Jonah Hex movie.
Yeah. I mean, it
So-
could have been.
So I'm thinking maybe, yeah, I thought it was weird that, all these things that we already covered, we're getting like, here's a showcase of what Jonah Hex is, and here's a first look at this movie that we already released. And I was
Oh.
like,
Jonah Hex, speaking of it, he doesn't talk to dead bodies in the animated thing.
yeah, no, he's I told you, he's not that.
I know, but I was kind of expecting that. It's like, oh, that'd be cool. I'm glad they didn't do it, but like, oh, cool. That's all.
Yeah, no, he just wanted the
Money.
He stole a bounty.
Yes, he did. Now, to be fair, at his point, she wasn't doing anything with the bodies.
Yeah, but he didn't kill the guy.
No, but I guess that's his character in the comics. He does not care. He just wants the money.
I understand that, but it's not like he killed the guy and she stole the corpse from him. And that's why she killed the guy. So technically, she should get the bounty.
She should get it. He just busted into her house and just killed people. Like, I want the body. He's like, wow, you're the bad guy right now. Like, he's definitely the bad guy in this.
She didn't. She invited him up.
But he did it. Look, we're reviewing this. He did it knowing she would get him up there.
Well, I understand that.
It was a bait and trap.
But that doesn't change the fact that she was baiting and trapping too.
Yeah, they're both being bad people. I guess she did shoot first, I guess.
Yes,
he
did.
defend himself, so I guess there's that, but...
He literally threw a hat at her gun to disarm her.
I guess.
He also punched her in the face.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I was like, damn, that's right.
She's like, well, you hit a lady? He's like, you ain't no lady. And punched her right in the face. And then left her down into a mine to die.
I would rather, that's a 7 out of 10, guys. I redacted my 6. I'll give that a 7. Because I was thinking about watching it, like, I would rather have watched this on loop than watch the other movie ever again.
Oh, man.
Spectre,
right.
Stand by, it's a 3. So, yes, anyways. What did you give Spectre?
I think I gave that a 9.
Oh, my, you did give that a 9. I remember I was being shocked while sitting there, like...
Yeah. I really liked it. I think I was surprised at how good it was.
It wasn't good. It wasn't that good.
Okay.
It was building blocks for something good, but it wasn't good. I respect your opinion, TJ.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how different you and I are. That's why we work so well together.
All right. Are you ready to finally dive into this movie?
Sure. There's 100% Rotten Tomato? Yeah. Let's talk about this movie.
All right. Like, I'm a little concerned that we get in to review these great reviewed movies on Rotten Tomatoes, and they're not that great.
It's like, it's not a bad movie, but like, how do you give this 100?
I'm beginning to think maybe we're the problem.
We're not the problem. Because when you actually, like, I'm not even saying look at it in a critical eye. You just look at it and, like, think for a second.
Well, I mean, this
any movie, you should think about it for a hot second. You just start questioning things. It doesn't make it 100. But I don't know. We'll find out after this review.
All right, so we open up like on a mountain, and we're introduced to Ra's al Ghul, and he's told that. Well, and then we get cut over to Batman racing towards somewhere on his motorcycle. Ra's al Ghul's told by one of his people that he's got the kid, and then we cut over to Robin handcuffed and tied up, and the Joker's got a crowbar, and
Which
he's
Robin
beating
is
him.
it, TJ?
Jason Todd.
Jason Todd.
He's beating Jason the Todd with a crowbar, and Ra's al Ghul's like, Batman's not going to make it in time, and Joker beats him with the crowbar, leaves him inside, and explodes the warehouse that he's in.
Yep.
Batman shows up late just as the warehouse explodes. He goes in, and he finds Jason Todd's dead corpse, and we cut to credits.
And that's how this movie opens, guys.
So, first question.
Yes.
What did you think about this part?
I mean, they explain more later, and I definitely agree with what they said later. I know why they did this, because that's how I get the whole comic background. I get it. I liked it. I think him beating the Robin to death was kind of like over the top in a sense of like, I felt that wasn't Joker.
Well, that's how he did it in the comics.
I know.
In fact, he was, in the comics, he was a representative to the UN for Iran at the time.
Yeah. Yes. And I guess he felt, I don't know. It felt right. It felt good, but it also felt a little off.
Well, okay. This is my first problem with this movie. This whole scene here.
Why?
Because this is not from the Under the Red Hood comic. This is a Death in the Family storyline.
Yes.
This should be its own movie. Back, like, it's like from 1980 where the fans voted to kill off Jason Todd because he was a terrible
earlier
guy.
than the 80s. That's the 80s when that happened?
Yeah, I think it was like mid 80s.
Wow. I thought it was the 60s, but okay.
No, it was mid 80s, I believe. So, but my problem is not that it is. Like, on its surface, this is a great storyline. Jason Todd getting killed and stuff like that. But it ruins the mystery of who the Red Hood is.
I don't think so. I think it doesn't ruin it just because if you, again, I just said, forgot into this. If you're not a critical thinker, it's a surprise. If you just think for a second, then there's like, oh yeah, duh, it's gotta be him.
Yeah, but that's my whole point. This whole prologue, and I get it. A lot of this movie is for people who have never read the comics.
Yeah.
This is why this is happening. This is, why this is here.
Mm-hmm.
I found it ruin the movie. Like, I know who the Red Hood is.
Yeah.
But like, just from a mystery, just executing a mystery sting, it just felt like this was unnecessary. And it was put here to either explain to the people who have never read the comics this, or B, we gotta put, they wanted to put the death of Robin in this movie.
Now, you know what? I'll give you that. Because I think if they took this 5 minutes and moved it somewhere else in the movie, still have it in the movie, just move it somewhere else, it would have made the detective part of him Batman trying to figure out who the Red Hood is better. And then having that be the revelation or something would have been better.
What? That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. They could have just moved it after they revealed who he was.
Yes.
And it would have worked fine.
Yes, because I do agree, like, again, if you think for a second who the Red Hood is, it's got to be someone we already met, and that's who we already met, and it's not in the picture anymore. So that makes sense. It takes away from the detectiveness of Batman.
And it's an easy fix, too. You could just mention that Robin's been dead for 5 years, because honestly, the whole point of the Under the Red Hood storyline is Batman is in a dark place ever since Robin's death.
Yes. Because
he lost, it's another tragedy. And I'll get more into that in a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. It just also, Ra's al Ghul, not really a part of the Under the Red Hood storyline. The way they tie him into it, I think is kind of stupid.
Oh, I don't mind.
Like, I mean, it's like what they do for the reveal of the corpse and stuff is there, but it feels like everything's too connected.
Yeah, I'll give you, yes.
So it's like, they're just like pushing characters in here, and I just didn't really...
That's fascinating. So I actually have less of a problem with that in this movie than I did with other movies that we've seen so far.
Yeah, no, like I said, I couldn't decide if it was my bias and me being a purist, or if it was a general problem, because it felt like things are connecting, and I'm like, because the comic did it way better, the story. Yeah. But everything felt interconnected, and like every character was there for a purpose, which from a storytelling perspective is what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But from a comic book perspective, it's a living, breathing world. You know what I mean? Characters don't all exist; they exist in their own worlds, and they don't always. They're not all supposed to connect to every storyline. You know what I mean?
No, I think this is your fanboy part coming out, your purist coming out, because I do think the movie was fine with the whole Ra's al Ghul and Joker connection and everything connects, because it wasn't so heavy-handed and it wasn't so like in your face.
Well,
it felt okay.
Here's my other problem with the movie. The Joker only in like 2 scenes in the entire Under the Red Hood storyline.
Yeah,
they severely expanded his role in this.
Not really, because he's in the opening scene, he's in the prison scene, and then he's in the ending. So he's in 3 scenes in this movie.
But in the comic, he's in one scene where they show Red Hood beating him with a crowbar.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't show up until the end.
There's only one extra scene with him in this.
No, there's 2.
Well, I guess him in the prison then escaping, but it just shows you.
And then they show Batman going to interrogating him in Arkham.
Yeah, the prison.
And then him escaping and capturing the Black Hood, all that never happened either.
Yeah, but I think that's fine, because it just gets you to the point where, like, okay, how did Red Hood get him? So I didn't have issues with that at all.
But they made this more about the Joker, and the Joker is the problem, but not the I'm trying to figure out. He's like the reason behind everything, but he's not the focus.
No, but I never had that. Like at the end, it makes sense why they don't, because to me they don't push the Joker. They push him because it's a Joker, but like when at the end when Red Hood's explaining why he did the thing he's doing, everything like.
Yeah, but that was ripped right from the comic, word for word. And it's more effective in the comic because the Joker has been out of the picture the entire time.
I think he's still out of the picture in this movie, though. He just shows up literally for interrogation and then...
Like, I'll explain it I'll explain as we go along.
That's fair. But I do stand by, I'll give you that. In the first 5 minutes, they could have moved that 5 minutes somewhere else in the movie. How during that last sequence, or in Red Hood's last monologue, they could have moved that 5 minutes there or something. And I think the detective / sorrowfulness Batman would have been better storyline to have and stronger in this movie. So I'll give you that.
All right. So after all that, we get the credits. It's just gothic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just gothic. It's not impressive. It goes on a little too long, too, honestly.
It's ugly.
Yeah. And we cut to 5 years later, which
where the movie should have started.
Yeah. But there's also the issue, like, the Death in a Family storyline happened in, like, 1985. This story came out, like, 2007.
Yeah, that's your purist coming out today.
And sure, there's a slide-in time scale when it comes to comics, obviously. But I don't know, 5 years just felt a little too short.
No, it does. No, and know why? Because they introduced a second Robin. I mean, they introduced a lot into this movie. Like 5 years is enough time.
Yeah, I should have been at least a decade.
Yeah. Yes.
I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. Again, that's a minor gripe.
It should be 20 years because again, they introduced a second Robin. The Red Hood is fully grown. So like a lot of time has passed.
I would agree with you, but that would make Batman a little too old. I think.
I know, but you can't do 5 years though. 5 years is nothing.
No, I know.
And
that's
10 years is nothing.
Maybe
I feel
10, maybe 15 years,
or maybe have it be young Batman at the time in the beginning, and then
slowly. Something. Batman seems exactly the same. Is my whole point.
Yeah. That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, like, again, this is a minor gripe because this is just stupid time stuff and it's comic books, so who cares? Anyway, there's a truck running away from Batman, apparently.
Wait a second.
What? That's where we open 5 years later. Oh, no. Nope.
I was just saying, are we doing this again, TJ? Like, how long is your movie? Okay.
I skipped the iconic open scene. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
We open up in a warehouse where a bunch of gangsters are at a meeting.
There we go. You scared me for a second. Like, I'm not doing this again.
No, I don't know how I missed it. This is how the comic opens up too. And they're all at a bunch of drug dealers, and they're asking each other, "Who's did this meeting?" They're like, "I don't know. Did you do it?" And they're like, "Screw this." And then the Red Hood shows up, and he's like, "You work for me now." And they're like, "No, we don't." So he throws the decapitated heads of all their lieutenants onto the table.
It's awesome.
And says, "You work for me now." They're like, "Yeah, we work for you now." It's almost scene for scene from the comic here, except he used a duffel bag, and in the comic, it was like a bloody sack.
Yeah, I guess they have to be more PG with this.
So that's another thing. The comic was way more bloody.
Yeah.
The body count for Red Hood was a lot in that.
No, I could tell this movie should have been rated R. But I was like, I'm not going to hold it against the movie, but I kind of want to see that.
This movie should have definitely been rated R because my God, this was so toned down.
Yeah, because okay, I got a question. We're gonna get to it, obviously, but later on, when a Joker sets something on fire, does that thing that gets set on fire later stay on fire, or does it actually not get on fire?
What do you mean?
When Joker's on the bridge with a match,
That whole bridge thing doesn't happen in the comics.
motherfuckers, then why add it? Because that scene would have been
That's
so
my-
gruesome if they would have
that's-
kept it the way they like.
That's my whole point of the Joker being inserted into this.
I wouldn't have mind.
But he's like literally that scene never happened.
Man, that's upsetting. That's upsetting. Okay. Let's go back to the scene. That's upsetting, but okay.
Anyway, so he does that, and now they're working from. Then we cut over the truck running from Batman. Batman causes us to crash because he's a jerk and he likes hurting people.
And all the crimes happen on the docks all the time. Like, you think the docks at this point would have like so much security? You think Wayne would just be like, yeah, just I want to pay a lot of security in the docks because I have the money.
I think, and it was different in the comic. I think it was like a warehouse they went to.
That's fine.
That's not much better in the comics. It's
No,
always a warehouse.
yeah,
It's always
it's like-
a warehouse.
And I get the warehouses are harder because I guess there's so many warehouses, but how many docks are there? There's like, what, 1 or 2 docks in Gotham? Just monitor the shit out of them. Like in every Batman movie, I feel, let's go to the docks. They're at the meeting at the docks. Like, oh my God. It's a
Anyway,
trope. I get tired of it, but yeah.
Anyway, the thugs are delivering or were they delivering or stealing? I don't remember.
They
Something
said they were stealing it, but
stealing it for their boss, the Black Mass.
yes.
And what were they stealing?
Amazo.
Amazo. Do you know who Amazo is?
I don't know, if he's this, it's a really dumb character.
Well, he does look like this, to be fair. He looks stupid, but he is a robot designed by a doctor to have the superpowers of the Justice League.
Yes.
So Superman, all of the superpowers.
And see, I have problems with it because they mentioned that, like, he's supposed to mimic superhumans and.
But that's my
metahumans.
point in this. They don't do that in this. They say he can absorb powers from humans.
Yes.
They don't specify. In fact, Nightwing says that, because I'll get to Nightwing in a minute, but he says he shoots lasers now, but they should already know this. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's what he does. He's Amazo. He should have their powers. And in fact, the version that they fight in the comic is a like lower class one, so it doesn't even have all the power, so that Batman and Nightwing can actually take them.
And that's another thing. I was thinking to myself while they're fighting this thing that's clearly a god better than them. It's like, how are these guys? Like, the power scale is never consistent in these movies. And
Well,
that was my point, TJ. Thank you.
They explain that in the comic. They
Yeah.
don't do it here. This was just like, oh, this is from the comic here.
No, because like, there's no way. Like, Batman's Batman. I get it. He's got Nightwing to help him, but like, they're not gonna fight and destroy this thing. There's no way.
So as he's chasing this truck and he's doing this, Nightwing shows up for no reason out of nowhere. And this is my next problem with this whole thing.
Yeah.
So, and I know they can't put this all in the movie, but I don't even remember. Nightwing kind of has a broken leg at this point in the comics, and he comes in because at this point, Oracle and Barbara Gordon, Oracle, who is Barbara Gordon at the time, who was Batgirl, and Batman had a falling out, and she's like his tech guy. She's like, the person that helps him out and overcomes and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a big falling out there. The fourth Robin, Stephanie Brown, who is also known as Spoiler, was just killed not too long ago in the comics.
Okay.
And so Batman's in a really dark place.
Yes.
Like super dark, and when Jason's about to show up and everything. So Nightwing shows up to pretty much check on Batman. He's there to make sure he's, not going too far over the line and stuff. And there's a purpose for Nightwing being there. Dick Grayson's always been kind of like almost like the light of Bruce Wayne, essentially. So, and he's there to really, but you don't get that here.
No.
Nightwing's just here because, and it's like, okay, Nightwing's in the comic, right? Yeah, we got to put him in. Why is he here? Because
no, but see, they could have done it. Like, if they could have kept the same runtime, maybe added a minute or two, and kept start the movie where we started, like after the credits. Did all of this and have Nightwing throughout the movie just reference, "You okay, Bruce? Everything okay?" And just hint at it. They could have done it.
My whole problem is Nightwing is nothing but a bumbling sidekick in this, and he's not supposed to be.
Yes.
And so, I'm not gonna. Dick Grayson's my favorite superhero,
of course,
and he is like the epitome of what a superhero should be, in my opinion.
Yep.
And they just make him like this nobody in this, and it was like he's here for no reason, just because you wanted to have the first Robin in here. You didn't explain anything.
No, that's fair.
And this is 100% me fanboying.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was just gonna say that. This is all you and your fanboy shit.
This is just my. I know this is me, but still,
yeah,
you know. And then so they blow up Amazo. Because he's a robot, they're allowed to blow off his head and decapitate him.
Oh, because he has the same weak points as a human, apparently.
Yeah.
Why?
Apparently,
why would you build that into a fucking robot to stop the Justice League? Why would you build that into a robot if it matches superhuman strength and all that, like to fight Superman? Because they allude to him fighting bigger creatures, bigger humans, and all that shit. Why would he have the same weak spots, TJ?
Because I think Amazo was built in like 1972.
Yeah,
and doctors were stupid in 1972.
That makes no damn sense. It was like, wow. So you can kick him in the groin area. He'd be like, oh, like, come on, guys.
Yeah, Amazo debuted in 1960.
1960? I know, but like, come on. Batman debuted in when, TJ?
1937.
He has so much things changed about him. They can't change that one thing about Amazo.
All right, to be fair, that's a fair thing. I'm just saying, in the 1960s, it was like, I think it was the Silver Age of comics.
I know. It's just really stupid.
And the Silver Age of comics where things were like you had Batbaby.
I get it. It's just like...
Right in the peak of the Comic Codes Authority, where you weren't allowed to have anything even remotely bad in comics, or the parents are going to come for you.
It's like, let me build the most epic robot ever that can help fight off Green Lantern, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all the Justice League. Oh, cool. What's his weakness? Getting hit in the eyes, the ears, the groin. Like, oh, so he's just got average weaknesses because you built that damn robot. Why build that? That's just stupid. Why you give it pain centers and shit? It's really dumb.
I don't think he gave them pain centers. I think they were just like microchips and stuff in the places.
Dumb. It's dumb. Like, that was my biggest gripe in the first 10 minutes. Like, really?
Anyway, they blow up Amazo and they're interrogating the bad guys, and then all three of them are shot and killed. Sniper. And Batman goes after them. And like he says, Dick, you stay here a lot through this movie. And Dick just stays here. And it's he
does.
It's like, why?
It's like
Dick Grayson is not in it as in this show that much, honestly.
Yeah, now that you've said that out loud, I'm thinking about it. Like, he doesn't really do much in this movie, Dick Grayson.
No. And in the comics, he's gone. This is a 12-issue miniseries, I think. And it was in the actual Batman comics. It was like Batman 600 and something to something. Okay. So it was like part of the main continuity. That's the only reason I brought it up.
Okay.
But Nightwing shows up for like 2 comics and then the first 2 or 3 and then disappears.
Yeah, because at a certain point, he just disappears in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like...
He doesn't disappear. We'll get to that. I'll explain why.
Yeah.
But
it's like, oh yeah, I just didn't register like, oh, he's not even in the third act.
No.
That's weird. Okay.
So they say who's shot it, and they chase the Red Hood over the rooftops. Batman does in the Batwing to Ace Chemicals.
What?
He chases them to Ace Chemicals.
Yes.
Where Batman dropped the Joker into the acid, and they show the original Red Hood. There is no reason for this either.
It's for nostalgia and fan service, TJ.
It's for they, again, first time comic book fans. Look, this is what happened to the Joker.
Yes.
Or it was like, see, Joker, and it was just so distracting. It's like this was not needed either. Everyone at this point,
it's needed from the Red Hood standpoint because Red Hood's f***ing with Batman right now and laying down clues and f***ing with him mentally.
True, but he did it way better. He didn't do this in the comic.
Okay, Purist, what did he do in the comic?
Well, first he just kind of fought him, and oh no.
What?
Oh no.
What, TJ?
You remember our argument?
Oh,
about
was I right about that, TJ? Because it comes up in this goddamn movie, TJ.
I'm just saying.
Oh, how weird! How fascinating! But what?
But the argument is, you argued that, and I argued there was no way it could happen after fighting like once or twice. These guys trained together forever.
Yeah. And they trained together forever, and Batman is a world-class whatever. Right. Even though Mr. Freeze is a super... What is he? Super genius or doctor? Whatever he is.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
I still adamantly believe he would understand how... Which Robin was it at the time?
It was Dick Grayson.
See? And Dick Grayson has his own fancy moves, like... Oh, wow, this kid moves pretty well.
In the comics, Batman fought him and just felt something familiar about it, and he knows. At one point, they say it in this comic, but not to the extent. He's like, Nightwing says, "We've seen all these moves before." In this movie, and in the comic, Batman says it's nothing we haven't done before either.
Man, I remember you called me idiot so many times for that argument. I remember editing that argument. Like, I'm not wrong. I still f***ing believe in this. And then, I feel so great, TJ. Vindicated. I feel vindicated. It's great.
Is this movie going to get rewarded for that?
Honestly, it might. It's a 10 out of 10. That's why they gave it 100, TJ.
Anyway, but yeah, like in the comics, he was fighting and doing these things and leaving little clues and stuff like that. He didn't take him to Ace Chemicals and try to make him think the Joker was, like I said, the Joker wasn't even a thing in the comics. In fact, Red Hood, like halfway through, goes to the Joker at one of his hideouts because he's not in Arkham. He's out on the streets, Joker, at the point. Yeah. He goes and knocks him out with the crowbar, beats him with the crowbar in the middle of the comic. And then we don't see him to the end again because he has them.
I like that he's better. I like that in the comic version he's in the streets because it really hits home more Red Hood's argument later on. But
right.
I do like that in this movie he's going to these places, and I do like that the Joker is still a part of the story in a good portion because he's the thing that made Red Hood Red Hood.
Yeah, but that's not. But it's not. Because he forgives, we'll get to it, but he forgives Bruce for the heinous thing that happened. It's Bruce's actions afterwards that's what made the Red Hood.
But I think...
But because it's not necessarily the Joker who, it could have, if it was a different villain, it would still be the same argument.
I don't think so, because he even says, in the movie at least, he says the Joker has filled so many cemeteries. I thought I'd be the one whose death would make you go over.
I know, but my point is, it's still about Bruce. It's not about the Joker.
But I think, but Bruce and Joker go hand in hand in this, and I feel like in this timeline. Just constantly remind him, like, yeah, you made the Joker here. Like, you made him.
It just
this
was
is all
so much.
You should just finish off the thing you started.
It was just so much more subtle in the comics. It was just like so much more about Jason Todd and his problems with Bruce Wayne.
That's fair, and that's fine. I can see that.
And this movie focuses too much more on the Joker. I feel it feels like the Joker is a bigger part in this than he should. He's just Jason Todd does not care about the fucking Joker. He does not care at all about him. He just wants him dead by Bruce's hand.
Yeah, but I never had an issue with the Joker in this movie because I never felt Joker was in this a lot. Like, because again, you read the comics, so he's not barely in it. In this, to me, he's still barely in it. He's the catalyst, obviously, for what happened, and he's trying to get the whole Joker thing. But like, I just never felt like Joker was too much in this. I never felt this was a Joker storyline. I felt it was Red Hood's.
But like,
thing.
Even like this is we're at the point where I said we're discussing Joker's origin.
Yeah,
like we're throwing this red herring in here for no reason, you know. So it's like because look, Joker fell in the acid again.
Oh,
you wanted to see that, and that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, that's fair. But this of the flashbacks, this is the weakest one in this movie. I think this is the weakest flashback reminiscence bullshit in this movie. Yeah, you're right. It's like too in your face, too like the fans like this. They remember this.
Yeah, and then after they Red Hood blows up Ace Chemicals and escapes essentially.
But see, this also shows like okay, he's blowing this up because he's getting rid of this memory of the Joker too. He's getting rid of this footprint of the Joker that may be the Joker.
I guess. I don't know. I just didn't. I don't think it's necessary. I think they focus too much on the Joker here.
I didn't mind this. I did not mind this at all. I do agree that the flashback thing is stupid, but like, if they didn't have the flashback part and him then just coming here and destroying it, it would have been a more subtle way of doing the thing.
Like I said, the Ace Chemical thing never happened in the comic.
I know, but I'm just saying, if they would have just came here in the movie, had a fight here, and then Red Hood blew it up without any of the flashback and showing the Joker falling there, I think it would have been better.
I mean, yeah, you could have done that, but then what was the point of going in there? They could have just...
It could have been a nod to us, the true fans, the deep fans like you, who are like, oh, that's the place that the Joker was at, and makes it more meaningful because the Red Hood's going to the Joker's...
So I'm going to not contradicts. What's the word I'm want to use? Compare the opening of the comic to the opening of this. The opening of the comic is Batman fighting the Red Hood.
Yes.
It's them two on the rooftop fighting each other, and I know you hate this, but it works for
what do I hate?
This Well, they started off in the future and they cut back in the past.
Oh, I hate that shit. Yeah.
But they open up in the future where Red Hood is fighting Batman on the rooftops and it's bloody and stuff. And then they cut back to like, or 2 weeks earlier when everything started.
Gross.
And I think that it works in this instance because you have that fight between them right up front, and then it allows you to focus on Bruce trying to figure out everything without having to worry about getting this first fight scene in here.
I'm thinking about it, and like I don't think that works. I think if you want to open the movie up, you open up at the meeting. You take the beating to death later on. You don't do the flash forward, flash back thing. I think you open up the meeting to the mob bosses. Why are we here? Who called this? Heads on the table. Oh shit, who's that?
Well,
that's how you do a good opening.
Like, but you know, yeah, open up with the fight scene so you don't need any. Like the flashback, the death of the family thing doesn't happen in the comic.
I know, but I'm saying if they have that in this movie, they should move it later in the movie, not in the beginning.
Right, I know. I'm just saying.
But I don't like the flashback thing that you're saying.
The flash forward.
Yeah, whatever you want to call that. Is just that's but terrible.
Like, if it's better than what they had here because you don't need the whole death in the family thing, and if you could take out this whole Ace Chemical fight,
yeah,
and because you already got your fight scene in, because that's what you wanted. That's the only reason why this is here to get the action.
At that point, I'm essentially writing this thing. You take out the Flash bullshit. You take out the Ace Chemical thing. You open the movie with the mob bosses thing, the heads, and then a credits roll. During the credits, you can have underneath the names floating up, the Red Hood doing multiple crimes and making headlines. And then after all the credits are done, and after Red Hood making the headlines, Bruce Wayne at the Batcave pondering who the the Red Hood is, where did he come from, also while being depressed about Robin being dead. Well, that shows you everything. Now, granted, we just rewrote the movie. We're not reviewing it, we're not writing, but that's how you do it.
But at the same time, you kind of do need the Amazo fight in there.
No, you don't. That's terrible. It's awful. Why do you need that?
Because
does it happen in the comic? It's awful.
Because the thing that this movie severely underscores is the Black Mask Red Hood rivalry going on. That is the majority of the comic. Like, they keep going back and forth between what Red Hood and Black Mask doing in the comic. Black Mask is so underutilized in this.
I could tell. I can tell. Just because the character design, you could tell he clearly is opposing the Red Hood, and I felt like, man, they're really underusing this character.
Right, like that is the main focus for the first 7 comics in this is Red Hood taking down Black Mask's organization.
Yes.
So, like, the reason why the Amazo fight is important is because Red Hood is actually going after Black Mask's thing, and the Amazo was going to Black Mask.
That's
fine. So he could sell it.
Yeah. Oh, you could open the movie with that then.
So that's what I mean. That you kind of need. I know the Amazo is stupid, but
it's terribly stupid.
But there's a reason for it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Anyway, I don't remember where I was.
I
have a lot to say about this movie.
I know, and I think it's mostly you just fanboying, and it's mostly you being purist with the comic book is better. I understand. I'm defending it because this movie from a viewer seeing just this as the material, it's not that bad. Well, so I'm just trying to defend it in that aspect.
This is one of the cases where the comic is just better than the movie.
And that's fine. That's fine. But I just want the audience to understand that whoever route you go, this is not that bad of a movie.
And I'm not saying it is.
I know, but just coming off that you're being you're just such a purist right now. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just like, read the comics. Like, yeah, I agree with the comics, but if you just watch this, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Don't stop being your purest self, TJ. I'm just saying.
I'm not. Yeah. Believe me. I don't need a reason to complain.
Oh, trust me, I know. We're 70 episodes in, so I know this.
Anyway.
Where are we? It's a good question. I have a pause at the back.
We didn't get past Ace Chemicals.
Oh my God, really? Well, he blew it up.
Yeah, blew it up. That's what I mean. Yeah. Then we cut to the Batcave. I don't remember what point of the Batcave this is, though. There's a lot of
Batman is looking at the Red Hood and all the Batman Nightwing are here.
Oh, I guess they put together that the Joker wore
Red Hood.
Red Hood. So now we're going to Arkham.
Yes.
Because we need Arkham Asylum in the Batman movie.
Yep.
Which annoyed the hell out of me. Like, Arkham was not in the comic, and I know it sounds like a purist thing, but this felt like we need Arkham Asylum in this movie.
That's a purist thing. But at the same time...
No, this felt like fan service to me.
It is. But at the same time, I agree with you just because how you said Red Hood got him out in the streets. I think that's more the meaning to the Red Hood. Like, man, Bruce really doesn't give a about me. So I would rather have seen that than this shows that Bruce kind of cares.
Right. I mean, again, though, I'm going back to the comics here because Red Hood was gone for like 30 years in comics
Long
at
time.
this point.
Yeah.
So, sure, Bruce went after Joker after he killed Jason Todd. He went out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going after him many, many times for many, many different reasons. But like 30 years of comics in between, there's a lot more. It's, like in this movie, it's just, oh, you just didn't do anything in the last 5 years. So it makes Bruce seem like more of a dick
Yeah.
than he was. You know what I mean?
Yes, it works.
So yeah. So Bruce goes to Arkham and they interrogate Joker. They threaten him and Nightwing. And there's like, haha, if I wanted to do it, you would know it was me. And he's not wrong.
Yep.
And they're like, fine. And then they leave. And then, how far are we in the movie here? About a half hour?
25 minutes.
25 minutes? Now we get introduced to Black Mask.
Yeah.
Which is like, he's like supposed to be the main antagonist for like most of the book. It was like,
I think the problem with this movie is just too short. There's just so many characters they introduce and have in this movie. It's too short. Because like you said, they don't give enough time with Black Mask. They don't give enough time of Nightwing, nor Batman's remorse and being a detective. There's not enough time for the movie to be the movie it should be. And I feel like this is like the one of the few times, again, we complain this movie is too short, for me at least. Because it feels like this is a grand, heavy story. To have all these things in it, they should be at least, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes longer.
Yes. So, the Under the Red Hood storyline was 12 issues.
12 issues, okay?
So that's a year of comics, essentially.
A year of comics. How many pages per issue, give or take?
Between 23 and 30.
So 23, let's say 25 pages, right? How many issues you say? 12?
12 issues.
That's 375 pages. In movies, a screenplay, one page is 60 seconds, which is a minute, so a minute a page. So that's 375 minutes right there. So how many? 6 hours. No, never mind.
But to be fair,
yeah,
that's script writing. This is comic panels.
Yes.
So
I don't know how you condense that, but
you can condense that down, and it would be much smaller.
Yeah.
I think you could do it in a 2-hour movie. I think
I wouldn't want to sit through a 2-hour movie, but with all the material they have, I think it could have been a great 2-hour movie.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's too short for something they did. And I'm not saying they did a bad job of what they had.
No, not at all.
It's just there's so much to it that, you know.
Yes.
Go read Under the Red Hood comic book.
Oh man! Or watch the movie if you're being lazy enough, like reading, or do both, or just
read. Not enough people read,
or just listen to us,
or you can listen to us ramble for an hour and 20 minutes. We're already longer than the movie, and we're not even 30 minutes into the review.
They like us, TJ. So they're gonna sit through this for some weird fucking reason. Anyways, we meet not the Red Hood. We meet Blackface. Wow, nope. We meet what's his name?
Black Mask.
Black Mask. I was close.
Or Roman Sionis. That's his name.
Yeah, nobody goes by Black Mask. That's a very basic name. Is that a mask he's wearing, or is that like his face?
No, it is a mask.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Fuck. I thought he got like in a horrible like accident. Like that's just his face.
That's a mask, but
his face isn't pretty, huh?
No, it is the Black Mask. I forget the exact. I want to get the exact thing. His mask is carved out of a black coffin of whom housed his father in a prior death.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
The mask is made from the coffin of a black coffin of his father.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's a criminally insane psychopath. Mobster.
I'm getting like Punisher vibes, like the Dolph Lundgren. Was it that one?
This is why Batman villains are so renowned.
Yeah, that's like that. That's God, we need good Batman material. DC, step your shit up, guys. I need good Batman visual media. It's not comic books, like motion picture shit. Because do we need the Joker again, TJ? How many times do we need to see the Joker on TV and movies?
I mean, we don't need it, but let's face it, he's the greatest villain ever.
I don't give a. Why not we just go to this guy or like anyone else in the rogues gallery of Batman?
Can you name a villain more?
I know. Trust me. I know. He's the Joker. It's Darth Vader and the Joker. That's it. And Hitler for
but
stuff.
even Darth Vader.
That's like the holy trinity of villains.
And who was the third one?
Hitler.
Oh, that's a real life.
I know. And the holy trinity of all villains throughout history is Hitler, Darth Vader, Joker.
And even Darth Vader is, I'd argue, is not, because he's a fallen hero and redeems himself at the end.
Yeah, he's got an arc.
I would argue the Emperor is probably more.
No, I'm saying like recognizable and like people know.
Recognizable.
Yeah. I'm not saying like better story or whatever. I'm saying just if you think Star Wars, you think Vader. When you think Batman, you think Joker.
Joker. Yeah, you're fair.
Yeah, those are the three guys. You're like,
when
those
you think
that's
Holocaust,
evil.
you think Hitler.
You think fake news. No, I'm kidding. Where was going? I was just like, the Joker's great. I can't argue that. But it's like, I want to see other guys on the TV doing shit.
I'm not arguing. There's 1,000 Batman villains
Exactly
that could use a spotlight, but
I don't need Catwoman. I don't need Penguin. I don't need Riddler. There's other people. We've had this. I had this. I say this every time I see a Batman movie because it's exhausting, and that's when I start getting burnt out. Like I see the Joker again,
and that's another reason why I'm so pissed that the Joker's as prevalent as he is in this, because this is a story about something completely different. Obviously, Red Hood gets redeemed eventually and becomes like an anti-hero, kind of stuff like that, but he was a villain for a little while.
That's great. I like shit like that. I think most people like shit like that.
Like in the comics, I'm gonna just bring it up because it's not in the movie. He gets in league with I forget what they're called, some kind of bad guy society.
The Something of Doom.
No, it's a different one that you don't know of, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I'll get a little bit into that a little later in this because they replaced it completely. But towards the end, there's this villain called Chemo. Who, what?
Really? Chemo?
Or Chemo. He's just a giant, like...
cancer cell. I'm sorry. Forgive me, guy. That's terrible. That's terrible.
It's more like chemicals.
Okay.
He's like a giant green monster made of chemicals and stuff. And when they drop... Red Hood arranges it so they drop Chemo or I'm not sure the exact pronunciation on top of Bloodhaven, which is Dick Grayson's town.
Jesus.
Dick Grayson is to Bloodhaven as Batman is to Gotham, and dropping Chemo on top of it is attuned to a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, wow.
And they're like. He's like, I just killed Dick Grayson, essentially. I mean, obviously he doesn't, but because he's not there at the time or whatever. But he's like, at the time, Bruce doesn't know that. He tries to go, and Red Hood's like, no, we're doing this now. So
that's awesome.
Where were we in this?
Yeah, I don't remember TJ because I don't care at this point. I care. We meet Black Mask, and Batman and Red Hood are both listening on to his meeting.
Okay,
separately.
And so Red Hood goes and hijacks the helicopter that is delivering Black Mask stuff, I think.
Yes, weapons, I think.
This is, again, not important. It's just a reason to get Batman and Red Hood together so they can fight again.
I think a lot of this movie isn't important besides, like, this could be a really dumb statement, I feel, but a lot of this movie isn't important besides, like, the main major beats.
Yes, because this just leads to a car chase.
Yes.
That leads to a factory.
I'll be straight honest with you, TJ. Every action scene that was a car chase and kind of some of the fight scenes zoned out.
Me too.
Because they were so not important.
They were not important and they went on a little too long.
Yeah, it's like, see, you get rid of those, you add more story to the movie, you'd be like, this is great. Because they were just so unimportant.
And that's the whole core of the Under the Red Hood story. It's a story. It's all about emotion and, being wronged in so many different ways.
And that just sounds way more intriguing than.
And there's like Jason Todd's father issues and how Bruce deals with things and his dealing with coming back to life and stuff. And then there's Bruce dealing with losing someone after losing his parents when he was a kid, but this time he has all the skills and abilities of Batman, and yet he still couldn't stop it.
It's funny you saying this because I had this feeling and this problem throughout the movie, and I didn't want to say it, but I just felt like this movie is so PG and so like kidified because I felt like the source material. I didn't know the source material. I just felt like the source material was just too dark and heavy and gruesome for the movie we got, and so they tried to make it into this. Again, it's not a bad movie, but it's just you could just feel like it has way darker undertones than it's actually giving off.
Right, it definitely did, and like I said, the body count it's not as gruesome as you would think.
No, but the source material is deeper than this.
Right, it is all about Bruce's guilt and and Jason's, rage, essentially.
And we never get that. Besides his ending monologue for Red Hood, that's the most rage we get from him. But we don't really get Bruce guilt.
Yeah, I know.
And I felt like we should have had that throughout the movie before you brought this whole stuff up. So it's like, now that you're vocalizing it, makes me more like, damn, we missed out on some good stuff, guys.
Like, this is why I'm keep going back to the comic. Like, I've never gone back to the comic as much as I did for this movie, as I have for this movie, because the comic is such a classic in its own right, and the storyline is so good. It's not perfect by any means. I have problems with it, but but the core of it is really good.
Yes.
And here's another problem I have with it that is not portrayed with it. And they don't show Alfred's reaction to any of this.
Yes.
Jason's a son to a grandson essentially to Alfred too, and he's just as effective.
I thought the same thing. Like, these are again, I don't like Batman, but I get it. They're a family. They're just a broken together. Like, there's a family unit. And so, like, his death, I just feel like those two characters weren't mourning enough. Granted, it's 5-10 years later, but it's like, still.
Alfred would normally scold Bruce and try and get him to cut back on some of the things, like the investigating and going to sleep and stuff like that.
Yes.
And doing a normal thing. But when he realizes what this is, he just lets him do what he does because, he needs to know too.
Exactly.
And like, there's whole pages of just Alfred narrating and Alfred discussing, who Jason Todd was and what he is, what he meant to Batman and stuff like that, and what he meant to him.
Yeah, no, this movie definitely, again, it's a good movie. It's competent. It's fine. I just did feel like it felt empty. I thought it was me, but now, like, again, you're saying all this, like, it makes sense. Like, yeah.
And now you're understanding why I feel like my biases was attached to this.
And that's why I'm not harping on you, because I get where you're coming from. I totally understand. And I just had to vocalize, like, people who are listening, he's got his biases and they're fine. They're adamant. I'm coming from the person who just saw the movie. And so I'm defending that the movie isn't a bad movie. It's just, I get that there's better content of this out there. I understand. I completely understand, TJ. I'm just trying to defend the movie to a point, because we're reviewing the movie, not all the content, I guess, what we kind of are.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard to review these kind of things for that reason.
Right. That's why I normally read the comic before I go into it.
And I'm just a movie guy, so I'm just reviewing the movie. Also, my complaint with the Dark Hood is Dark Hood. What's his name?
Red Hood.
Red Hood is like, he's like Deadpool light in this movie. Quippy, looks like Deadpool. So it's got like very diet Deadpool.
I didn't get that at all, but
I got a lot. Didn't hate it. It was just like, Deadpool. But okay, just want to get that out there.
I mean, I think this was before Deadpool was
I think
popular.
So. Yeah.
I don't think it was meant intentional.
I don't mean it like that. It's just like, that's how I just got from it. It was like, I see Deadpool. Not saying they stole it, just Deadpool.
All right, so he was chasing Red Hood through the streets. And him and Nightwing are still chasing him, and they chase him to like a train station. But when they somehow Dick hurts his knee in this, I don't remember if Jason did it or if it was the crash or through the train station thing, or anyway, he train's about to hit Batman and Nightwing, and Batman pushes Nightwing out of the way, and then Red Hood says, "You haven't lost your touch," and then the train cuts off the set, and so they cut back to the Batcave. Bruce sends Dick home because he's hurt and he can't help, and that's how we get him out of the story. Like, you were wondering where he went, that's where he went.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, you think he still stood around and like helped out the Batcave or something. This is maybe me.
Yeah, so he goes home, and then Bruce does, CSI and clears up audio. I guess he just had recordings at the train station. But to be fair, it is Batman, and he probably does have recordings of everywhere, so...
It's because it's Batman.
God. I mean, he does seem like the kind of person that doesn't respect people's privacy, so...
No, it looks like he's had, like, it was like a body cam kind of situation.
Yeah, and he clears it up, and he says, "You still haven't lost your touch, Bruce." "Oh no, he knows who I am."
Who could this
possibly be? Yeah.
Yes. What characters in this universe that we know of in this movie that could know my name? And then after that happens, it literally cuts to...
a flashback.
Not a flashback. It literally cuts to him standing in front of the Batman, Robin's things. Like, it's just showing
which then it cuts back to a flashback of Robin.
It does. It's like, God damn. It's like the detectiveness isn't really detective-y in this movie.
Yeah, no. So we go a flashback of Batman and Robin taking down the Riddler. And
I like that, though. Because it shows, like, old school Batman.
Right. It shows... there's a point to it.
Yeah.
They show them taken down and they're a team. And then they cut to years later and they show Robin getting aggressive and getting angrier and purposely hurting bad guys and not feeling remorse about it. Like, he purposely breaks the collarbone of one of the thugs they're beating up, and Batman back at the cave is like, why did you break his collarbone? There's 1,000 other ways you could have done it. And he's like, do we care about drug dealers now? And Batman then goes logically, we needed him. You put him in the shock. We needed to question him. And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry. All right, that was stupid of me, but he still deserved it, showing that he doesn't care. He's a willing to go a step further.
Literally, so many D&D conversations end up like with that.
Like, this is good stuff. That's straight out of the comic.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to see that more.
And then
Black Mask.
I wrote Black Mask does something.
He's yelling at his people because he wants Batman dead, or he wants Red Hood dead.
Yeah, I wrote Black Mask fights back because I combined all the scenes. So he's like, "Oh, do this," and so he starts attacking all of Red Hood's people and stuff and everything like that. And then he's like, they're dragging out one of Red Hood's big drug dealers, and he's like, "We got a message for you." And then Red Hood shows up and just murders them. He's like, "What's the message?" And then he's attacked by
Robo Ninjas.
I was going to say robot ninjas.
I was like, this is the part I was like, this is stupid. Like, between this and his Mazo, like, I don't like the futuristic shit in this movie.
What is this? The Fearsome Hand of Four is what they're called.
Stop it.
No, I know how I know that. I read the plot summary because these are just added for this movie.
They're terrible. I hate them.
Because in the comic, this is where the League came in. Deathstroke comes and offers Black Mask some help, and if he joins his little secret society, and he gives him
Black Mask or Red Hood?
Black Mask.
Okay.
So he gives him Hyena, which you probably don't know.
I know. They were in one. I think they were in one of the earlier movies too.
Oh, isn't he in Suicide Squad? Hyena?
I haven't seen the new one. I haven't seen it.
Wasn't he in the original?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Well, he gives him Hyena I forget his exact name, but he's a Nazi.
She's a Nazi, baby. Yep.
So he gives him a Nazi and Count Vertigo. You may know.
Stop. What's Count Vertigo do?
All right, you don't know who Count Vertigo is.
Does it give you vertigo?
Yes, actually.
Oh, that's a good power because that really f***s you up. So
he's a Green Arrow villain, and his power literally affects your eyes and ears, and so you can't move. You're off balance and can't get up off the ground.
Oh, that's a really good power when you think about that.
Yeah, it's not bad actually.
No, that's a jokey name and a jokey thing, but that's really powerful. Unless you're blind, I guess. Like so, probably hard against.
That's how Batman gets Batman gets around it because Batman comes and helps Red Hood in this fight because it's not robot ninjas in the comic; it's these three.
Yeah.
And he hits his Batman's the lower visors over his eyes and ears, so he's blind and deaf.
Yeah.
So he can't be affected by the vertigo, and he just goes by vibration and fights.
Which makes sense, but damn, that's a really good power. I would totally wish for that one if I could wish for a power.
So yeah. And so Red Hood's fighting the robot ninjas.
They're terrible.
This is stupid.
They fell out of place in this movie. Like, why do we have these futuristic shits in this movie?
And it's an animated movie. All the other animated movies have crossover. This is a perfect time to play anybody
exactly.
in there. You know? Yes. It doesn't matter. You could throw in any third-rate guy. I don't know why you needed robot ninjas.
Yep. Oh, man.
If you didn't want to have the whole League thing, just say, hey, I hired some mercenaries from Black Mask. Whatever. Batman shows up to help because he's a little overpowered because it's 4-on-1, and they beat him up, and then Red Hood kills one of them, and this is, Batman crosses the line. This is where Red Hood crosses the line, essentially, because, Batman doesn't kill.
And I would take it seriously if it wasn't for Robo Ninjas, honestly.
Yeah, it's better in the comic.
Of course.
Because it's not Robo Ninjas.
Yeah, they just fell out of place. It was like, this probably isn't right.
And I wrote Red Hood something for the next scene.
They fight together. He disappears. Blood. DNA. Match.
Oh, okay. That's why I wrote match. So, yeah. So, this is different, too. He, finds the sword that he was cutting there. Where in the comic, he's like, this is where he tells Bruce who he is. He's like, it's me. You don't believe me? He cuts himself and gives him blood and DNA and everything. Go do your little experiments and stuff. Because I know you're going to. You're going to try to figure it out. But no, this is me.
Either way it works, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. We get back to Black Mask. He's upset.
Yeah, okay. Hold on. Oh, yeah. So back at Black Mask's Sting office, he's yelling at everybody. He's beating people up. And then Red Hood shows up with a rocket launcher and just blows up his
Yeah, this part was where I was thinking to myself, this is very Deadpool-y.
Now, this happens in the comics too.
It's very
But-
Deadpool-y.
But they explain in the comics that, Black Mask is no one should know where he is, and that the upper floors are actually like impenetrable. But the only reason why the rocket got in is because they were repairing one of the windows, and they're like, how the hell did he know exactly what the weak spot was? No one knows any of this stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just showing how Batman Jason Todd is,
Yeah.
essentially. That was the whole point of it in the comics. This was just action-y thing with no explanation.
Let me get your favorite stuff, TJ. More Joker breakout stuff.
Yeah, because, here's the thing. Black Mask says, I'm going to have to go negotiate with a psychopath.
Yes.
But in the comics, he goes and negotiates with Red Hood.
Really?
Yeah. Red Hood says, we'll team up. I'll work under you if you kill all of your second lieutenants. And Black Mask murders all of his lieutenants in front of Red Hood.
That's awesome.
And then Batman shows up, and Black Hood and Red Hood betrays him and says, I'm not going to join you. And then they get into a fight, and then Batman shows up, and Black Mask actually kills Red Hood. But no, it was someone else in disguise, and he actually had someone else dress up as him and had a phone inside the helmet that makes it sound like it was him.
Okay. I kind of like this more. I like him getting the Joker. Because to me, it makes no sense of him trying to team up with the guy.
Who?
In the movie, in this movie, it makes little sense for Black Hood.
Right, no, I know. That doesn't. But in the comic, Red Hood has pretty much taken out everybody.
Yes, and that's fine. But in the movie, the route they went, it makes sense.
It makes sense because they built the movie around
Yes,
this.
yeah.
They literally built it that way.
I know.
But even the assistant that Black Mask has plays a bigger part in it.
Of course.
And Red Hood even kills the assistant. They gender swap the assistant for some reason. I don't know why, but whatever. That's not
because guys can't be assistants, TJ. It's a woman's job. They're really orderly and good at keeping things proper.
Oh, okay.
There's a motherly instincts of. I'm sorry, I got it. So sexist.
I think he was actually Asian in the comics too. But Red Hood actually got a hold of Black Mask by murdering his assistant and duct taping a cell phone in his mouth.
Yeah.
So, there's I get why they did it here this way, because they didn't go the route they went. This is the story they were writing with. But no, they go and break Joker out of Arkham. And is this where they have the conversation with the Joker?
No, because they break him out, then they go to Batman digging up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they dig up Bruce digs up Jason's body, and it's not Jason, it's a doll.
What?
And he's like, he's so mad at himself because he didn't bother to check. He was so distraught at the time.
That's fair though. We'll
get back to this in a moment.
Oh God.
Because now we go to the talk with the Joker, and he's like, Black Mask, you want to help me? He kills all Black Mask goons, and says, yeah, sure. What do I need? Here's what I need to do it. And then we cut over to Ra's al Ghul.
So I was thinking to myself, I wish when they do a Joker again, because they're going to do a Joker again. In these comics and shit, does he wear makeup or is his skin just naturally white?
It depends. It depends on the interpretation. Some early Joker kind of wore more it was more makeup based.
Yeah.
No, actually earliest Joker it wasn't, but 60s and 70s I think it was more makeup based. But the common misconception is that his skin was bleached white because of the acid.
But it's not.
No, it is. That's
okay.
the common canon.
Okay.
Disease.
I like that.
Because Harley is bleached white the same way.
Okay. So I like when they go to visit him, he's always got that on and his hair is always green. I hate when they do it in the movies, they has the makeup off. No. I like constant white Joker.
Yeah, because that's just his skin because of the acid.
Yes. I prefer that way more than the makeup. I just want to put that out there. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
It does.
Then we cut over to Ra's al Ghul because Batman thinks he's behind everything because I guess he's set up the entire funeral.
Well, because that's what how's Batman know it is him? Before Raj just explains.
Because, apparently Ra's al Ghul hired the Joker.
Yeah.
And he didn't mean for the Joker to kill Robin. It was just he hired him for a job to do it. So Ra's al Ghul was behind everything. So he figured Ra's al Ghul must have been behind the switch of the body too. because he was the mastermind.
But how? Wait, hold on. Say that again.
So when Robin died,
Yes.
Ra's hired the Joker to distract Batman, essentially.
Yes.
But Ra's didn't mean to have the Joker kill Robin. That was
Yes.
all an accident. Joker went too far.
Yes.
Batman thinks that Ra's is behind it because he was behind the original plan. Like, this was all he.
That's a f***ing leap.
I'm just saying. That
makes no sense. Like, how would he, like, this is a fake body? Ghoul, it's you! Like, that's a leap, TJ. Unless, like, on the body there was a stamp that says produced by Ghoul Company.
Well, no,
like it's a leap.
He was, like you said, he was so distressed he didn't bother to check the body. So he
But even at the time, he didn't know Raja hired the Joker, did he?
Yes.
He knew that before the exposition happens in this movie.
Yes, because Ra's al Ghul was the reason behind the plots behind everything that was going on in there.
Just because he's behind us, Batman knows that he hired him.
Yeah, but he figured it out later.
Once he figured it out?
No. I think he was there because of Ra's al Ghul in the first place, and then Ra's hired the Joker to distract him. Even though he wanted to stop Ra's, Joker had Robin, so he went after Robin instead. So he thought it was just part of a bigger plan, taking the body and stuff like that.
Okay, so all that, but no, that's a jump. I don't buy that. Is that the same thing? That's a jump, TJ.
It's not the same thing in the comics at all.
Thank you, because that's like, there's no way.
All right,
Batman would put that's got to be Ghoul. Except all my other Rogues villains, it's got to be that guy.
He doesn't know that it's Ghoul.
But why does he go there?
Because he has a suspicion that he knows something more.
That's bullshit. God damn, that's bullshit. Unless he would have said to himself, Lazarus Pit. Because that's the only way to resurrect someone, sure.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, sure. But, like, it's more along the line that Ra's was behind the original plot that got Robin killed. And now he's thinking in this moment that maybe Ra's there was a bigger thing that he didn't see, and that this was all a ploy just to get Jason Todd's body.
He thought of that the second he made things up the body and realizes that's not the body. Like, oh, it's got to be this guy.
You're assuming that he thought about that, but this stuff could have been running through his mind the whole time, because up until this point, he just kind of thought it was Jason. He was looking for confirmation that it was.
I'm calling bullshit, but to move the podcast on, sure, but I'm calling bullshit.
I don't think that's like any detective story, really.
I just feel that's such a big jump to go like,
no,
without showing us his process of thinking, just from dig up body to let's go back to this place. That's
fair, but it's an hour 15-minute movie.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. This movie suffers from being too short.
And actually, I actually don't have a problem with the switching of the body part of it, like, because.
No, neither do I.
Okay.
My problem is that he just connects it so quickly that Batman digs up body.
This was all. The whole Ra's al Ghul connection is made up for this movie anyway.
I know, but I'm saying that it's so, like, literally, because the scene is digs up body, Joker's still in prison. Next scene, Batman's at Ra's al Ghul's. It's like, how the f*** that happened? Like, when I first saw it, didn't think about it. But now that we're talking about, like, whoa, where's that connection at?
Anyway, so.
Unless, again, that body stamped with Ra's al Ghul was here or something like that.
I didn't have a problem with this part of it. It's whatever.
That makes no sense. But sure.
Like,
I hate that.
So Batman goes to Ra's and he's like, "What?" And Ra's explains what happened.
See, that makes no sense. Like,
he suspected that Ra's was behind it.
That's so stupid.
He suspected that Ra's was behind it, and he was right. What's so wrong?
Because that's such a leap, TJ. That is such a leap. Not only does he suspect it, he takes a jet to that place.
He does.
God knows where the place is. Batman is, of course.
He's not expected. He literally breaks in, and Ra's has to call off his guards.
I know,
because he's breaking in.
Like, they don't show you him following any other ideas. Like, literally, digs up body, Joker, then he's Tibet somewhere.
I'm not disagreeing with you that they should have showed, like, okay, something. We're going the race, but I'm not. It's not a giant leap. If he was behind the original plot, you would think if it's not the Joker, then the next person who was behind it all would be Ra's.
No. Yes, yeah, you're right, but at the same time, just like in the movie world, like that makes no sense. That's such a because he literally just pulled out the body, then get my
I
jet
think
ready.
it
I gotta
makes-
go somewhere. Like, nah.
I think it makes sense in the context of the movie.
It makes
Because-
very little sense. Like, such little sense. I feel.
I just think it needed to be explained.
Yes.
I think
Just
it makes
give me-
sense in the context of the movie. I just think they needed to explain it a little more.
Something like, if he would have opened the coffin, he saw something that reminded him, or it was like a reference to Raj Uncle. Then, like, sure. But he just opens coffin, fake body, goes fly. Like, no, I just cannot buy that. But sure, for the movie, let's go for that ride. I just call bullshit right there.
Whatever. So he explains Raish.
Because him explaining it makes sense. Like, I don't have any issue with that. It's just
he explains how did they get the body in the first place?
exactly. Oh, that's what you got an issue with?
No, I just don't. They explain it. I literally don't remember.
Bruce flew into the place under his name.
No.
Flies out under his name with it, and it goes to the morgue and says, Robin was with me and died in a bomb. So I guess there's a period of time where he's away from the body. That's when Raj goes in. Because he says,
Raish kidnaps the kid, steals the body, and puts it in the Lazarus pit.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as stupid as you may think this is...
No, I don't think this part's stupid. I just think from Gotham to here was dumb.
The comic explanation is kind of stupid.
Oh, God.
So, we're going to have to go back to Crisis on Infinite Earths.
We're going that far back, TJ.
It might be the second Crisis, but it's only actually like a year or so after or whatever, because this is still when Death of the Family happened, it was like mid-80s or something like that. Anyway, so do you know who Superboy Prime is? Did I explain Superboy Prime?
Probably.
Superboy Prime is a villain who could essentially destroy the universes. He was locked in a cell in between all multiverses and stuff like that. Got me right now?
Sure.
I know this is a lot, but it's necessary to explain what happened. He's like a man baby, a child, essentially.
Okay.
And one time he's having like a freak out in his thing, and he's punching the wall of the cell he's in, which is the fabric of reality.
Of course.
It doesn't change. It transports the Jason Todd from the reality that he survived the Joker attack, because when they voted, there was two possible stories.
Yep.
One, he lives, one, he dies. So it changes. The one that lived got transported in the one where he didn't live.
Oh my God. Okay.
But he came back like broken and beaten and on the verge of death, and he was taken to a hospital and in a coma, and no one knows where he was or anything like that. He was homeless for a bit and stuff like that, and someone recognized the move's Robin, so they call Ra's al Ghul, and they come and take him to Ra's al Ghul's place. But it's not Ra's al Ghul who is taking out; it's his daughter Talia, who wants him and stuff like that. Ra's doesn't, and it gets to a point where they can't get him to remember who he is or be even functional human. He's just catatonic, essentially.
Oh wow!
But Ra's doesn't want to put him. He's like, no, the Lazarus pits is mine. We're not using them. Just get rid of him. Essentially, go put him in a place he can live in a catatonic state, just because of who he is, because he has respect for Batman and it's his son, and Talia likes the kid and stuff like that. So that he was like, we'll take care of him for the rest of his life, but we're not using the Lazarus pit. Talia betrays her father, throws Jason into the pit, and that heals him.
Good.
And this is how he became Red Hood again.
Okay.
And so he also, Talia helps him escape, and so then he goes on and becomes Red Hood and stuff. But the whole Superboy Prime punching reality thing is really stupid.
I mean, anything at that level of stupidity is stupid in those comic books.
Well, that's how it happened in the comic. But I think it's like switching the body out and stuff is kind of a better, realistic.
Way better. For sure, way better.
And what they did in the comics a little convoluted, but
still makes sense. But yeah, convoluted. I just want to see why he flies. That's all.
Why he what?
Flies over to where Raj al Ghul's at.
Yeah, whatever. Moving on.
No, I'm glad I won the argument of you can identify someone's fighting moves.
No, whatever. We're moving on. We're almost done.
Are we though?
Yes, because
Lazarus.
Joker.
Wait, did you explain this movie's version of that? The Lazarus pit?
Yeah, he put him in the Lazarus pit, and he became like wild. Well, I don't know how it happened.
Feral, I guess, because he didn't like.
I don't know how he becomes unfurled. Actually, how did he become unfurled?
They don't tell you. He jumps out the window and he just disappears, and this shows up as the Red Hood. They yada yada over it.
And Raish is like, "Yeah, I thought he was dead for all this time. Too. That's why I didn't say anything."
It makes him look so incompetent. This whole movie makes him look so incompetent.
Yeah, and in fact, like Ra's is supposed to be this immortal,
Yep.
all-knowing thing, and honestly, he would not tell Batman any of this. He wouldn't even feel bad about any of this. Honestly,
Yeah.
This movie made him like, oh, I'm sorry that I did all this. I don't buy it for a second.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I thought so too. Like, he was so sympathetic and incompetent in this movie. Like, this isn't him, is it? It's like, do I not know this character enough?
No, this is not him at all.
Like, why would he do any of this?
This is literally just to tie it together.
Yeah, they did a bad job, I'll tell you that. Literally, he's like, he came back, he started running around, and he left me. I was like, you couldn't find him. But I do think that was disturbing, though. Like, I put myself in Jason Todd, right? His shoes, like, coming back from death. Being feral makes sense. Like, that's cool. And,
in the comic, the reason why he becomes Red Hood is because, and not he doesn't go back to Batman's, because Talia says, you should look up what happened to the Joker after you died. And he discovered that he's still alive and running rampant and killing people and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why he turned into Red Hood.
I think anything works besides, like, this. I think, like, just him hearing Joker's still out doing things himself was like, wow, Joker's still killing people and has bombed a hospital or something, would still trigger him either way. Like, this.
Right. And here's another problem I had with this movie. Like, there's a point where Red Hood saves Batman and pushes him out of the way of something. Like, it's still shown in the comics that he still respects and even, I would even say loves Bruce.
Yeah.
But he is portrayed sometimes as a hero in this movie.
Who is?
Like, Red Hood. Like, he's got heroic moments.
Yes.
In the comic, there was no heroic moments.
No.
It was all, pretty much, he still has respect and admiration for Batman, but he's making a point here.
Yeah.
So
I don't think this movie was that mature enough at the time to make those.
I agree.
Happen.
I think if it was remade today, it would be much better.
God, yes, TJ, yes. It suffers from being from 2010. This movie, and being PG and being an hour.
All right. So Joker's on a rampage, apparently on a bridge. He's about to burn Black Mask and his Goonies together,
which is pretty cool. Oh, we see Gordon.
We see Gordon for a second, yeah.
I get him in there too.
Yeah. And then Red Hood shows up and is like, hey, how's it going? And Joker's like, I'm gonna kill them. And Red Hood's like, so? Go ahead. And so he lights a lighter, Joker, and drops the lighter in because he had dropped gasoline and he's gonna burn him alive. And it looks like it's gonna happen too. And then Batman shows up with like fire hydrant stuff.
I wish they would have burned TJ. If they would have just burned alive in that, I think this movie would have gave that movie like an extra grade for me. I think at this point I was too tired of this PG bullshit. Like,
Yeah, no, I agree to a certain extent. I wouldn't have wanted the Black Mask to die though.
Obviously.
So, like, I don't know. Like, it felt like, because Black Mask is now trapped on the Joker, it just makes him look weak and pathetic.
Yep.
And he's supposed to be the great mob boss in the city, and now he's just nothing in compared to Joker, which again, marginalizing a cool character for the Joker, and it's like, So, anyway.
I can agree with that.
So, there's a bit of a fight between Joker, Red Hood, and Batman, but Red Hood gets away with the Joker. It's like, I have him. If you want him, come to Crime Alley, which I would say, ooh, look, Crime Alley, but that was in the comic too, so.
Yeah.
At Crime Alley in a house, Jason crowbars Joker to get revenge. That's that.
Flashback.
And then we get a little bit of a flashback of the first time Batman met Jason Todd. He was stealing the wheels off of the Batmobile.
Which is no even that easy.
Well...
No.
They explained it in the comics.
How did he steal these wheels off the Batmobile?
They explained that the Batmobile that Batman hadn't finished because these were new wheels. He was installing on it, but he hadn't finished like putting the plate in, so they couldn't touch the lug nuts to get it off.
That's fair.
And that all the security systems were damaged previously by an attack from a villain, so all the systems were still haywire and jumpy. It was just a perfect coincidence that that Jason Todd came upon the Batmobile almost like they were fated to meet.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and plus, it's cooler to see, this is how his original origin was more like Dick Grayson's. He was a circus performer and stuff.
Yeah.
So the retcon that he was a bit of a juvie,
Which I'm fine with. It's just like, there's no way that kid would take in Batman's wheels without explanation.
Right. No, there was a bit of an explanation. They even like pointed out in the comic, like, there's no way he would have got our wheels, but it just happened to be these circumstances.
That's fair.
And then we get Batman versus Red Hood. They fight for a bit. They unmask each other, which I guess was the big climax here, but this happened like earlier in the comics. Like there was a point where Batman pretty much knew it was Jason Todd he was fighting, so it made the stakes feel more throughout the story as it was building.
Mm-hmm.
And then we come to the best part of the whole movie, I think.
The monologue?
The whole monologue.
Yeah, it's great.
Where Red Hood's got Joker and he's like...
letting all his feelings in. Just...
right. He's like... and Bruce is like, I'm sorry I failed you. And he's like, I forgive you for letting me die. I mean, this is what we do, you know? There's this. I don't hate you for failing to get to me. I just don't understand why Joker's still alive. After he killed me, after he... all the people, like you said, all the cemeteries he's filled with people, after crippling our friend Barbara, essentially, because they say the friends he crippled, which is Barbara Gordon, and then killing me, him taking me away from you. I thought you would kill him, put him away. This isn't Riddler. This isn't Penguin. This is a death worshiping psychopath, and he's still alive. Why? I don't understand.
It's just so valid. It's like, God, you're right, man.
Yeah, but at the same time, Batman's like, I can't do that, and he's like, because of your moral code, because it would be too hard. And Batman makes the complaint, no, it's because it'd be too easy to do it, you know?
And that's a valid point. They both make such valid arguments.
It's such a good argument because both sides are right.
Yes. Yeah, like whoever's side you're wrong, like you're not wrong. Like Batman says, like every day I think about how I want to kill the Joker. And like just whatever he's done to someone, I want to do to him. It's like, oh my God, Batman, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And the best part is the Joker's chiming in the entire time.
Oh, it's so good because Joker's like, "What? This is better than anything I could have made." It's like,
yeah,
he's literally fanboying out over it. It's like, this is great.
And he's like, "Oh, you do think of me," and stuff like that.
Yes.
And he's like, and then Red Hood puts a gun to his head. And he's like, "I'm gonna kill him, or you're gonna kill me. You only got a headshot here to take me out here."
Yeah, because Red Hood threw a gun at Batman.
Yeah, gave him a gun, and Batman's like, I can't, and Joker's like, I don't care how this plays out, no matter what happens here, I win.
Yes.
And then but you know, Batman's Batman, and he finds a way, and disarm Red Hood without killing him. It was cooler in the comics because he does throw a batarang, but he actually ricochets it off of a pipe to hit him in the shoulder, so it doesn't make Red Hood look a little stupid here, like it does here.
Well, I don't think this makes him look stupid. This makes it look this is impossible.
Right, like
he throws it right in the damn gun. Like, come on, right in the hole of the gun, the muzzle.
But my point is, he points the gun at Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
And shoots at Bruce, which, come on, one, he's Batman, and two, everything you showed me up to this point shows me he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
The whole point is to get Batman to shoot Joker here.
Yes.
But in the comics, he never takes the gun off of the Joker. He just kind of ricochets it off of a pipe and hits him in the shoulder, taking him out without both of them killing him. And then, I mean, either way is fine. The monologue was the best part of the movie.
Oh, yeah, easily.
So, and then, you know, the day is pretty much saved, but Joker's like, no, this is what I want. We're all going to die here together. And because Red Hood set up a bomb, and Joker is like stops Batman from like escaping for a moment there, but then he knocks him down, grabs Jason, and I guess escapes because we never see Jason again.
Yeah, this lost me.
So, but after the explosion, Batman finds Joker still alive in the rubble, and Jason's just gone. And then we cut back to the Batcave, where we get essentially the epilogue to the movie. But like, here's another problem I had with this movie.
Yeah.
Like the investigation part of it. In the comics, Bruce is kind of in denial at first. And he's like, how can someone come back from the dead? Every time someone's ever come back from the dead, there was a scientific reason behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was a reason. So he actually goes to Green Arrow and Superman, all the characters who have died in the comics history, essentially, and re-interrogates them about their deaths and stuff.
Okay.
And he's talking about, like, so how did you die? Like, you know, how'd you come back to Superman and stuff? And it's just like his struggle with it throughout of it was so much more in the comics, and this it just didn't come across in this.
Yeah,
like again, the guilt wasn't there.
Yeah, again, this movie was just empty. It was just a shell of something better.
Although
I guess it wasn't mature enough or didn't have the time or whatever. It couldn't be what it needs to be.
Although I will admit, the last flashback got me a little bit here, where they show classic Robin getting dressed up for the first time, and then him going over to Batman and saying, "This is the best day of my life." After all of that,
it was nice. It
was nice, but it was also bittersweet.
Yeah.
At the same time, like almost sad that this is where everything ended up after having, you have Robin, and then he was dead, and now he's a bad guy, and everything else.
It would have hit more if we saw what happened to Robin, whether he died in an explosion or if he would have left. He was just gone. It was just him. I was just still confused and processing what happened to him.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what was. I know how it plays out. So
obviously, me as a viewer is like, right. Where'd he go?
So that just hit me a little more. This is the best day of my life, and yet everything's shit.
Yes.
So anyway, that's the end.
How would you think of it?
My feelings on it are very complicated.
Obviously.
Like, it's a decent movie, but I kind of hate it, too.
Kind of hate it because the purest side of you, obviously.
Because of the purest side of me, and because it's just of what it could have been.
Yeah.
The potential of it really hurts. I don't know, what's your score? What did you think?
You can make me score this. Well, again, I too liked it. And again, I didn't know any of the stuff you were talking about beforehand, but I had all those feelings. I had, like, this movie needs more. It needs more depth. It needs more, I guess, just overall character development for every character involved in the big characters. It just needed more. And again, it's rarely that we say these movies are too short. This one is too short for everything it dealt with. That being said, it was good. It was a solid movie for what it was. Again, I didn't know anything behind the scenes of the source material, so I enjoyed it overall thoroughly. I did like the Joker's parts. I liked the things we got, but again, I knew I was watching something weaker than the original source material. So that being said, I am probably going to give this it's a 5 out of 10, honest. It's a solid, average, okay movie. It's a 5 out of 10 for me. The monologue at the end helped save it because they nailed and landed both sides being right, and there's no favoritism in that point, but the movie is lacking in aspects. So this movie's a 5 out of 10 for me.
All right, well, that kind of brings my score down then a little bit.
Oh, why?
Because I thought you were going to score it higher.
No.
And because I know my biases are really hurting my
be you. Don't let anything influence you besides you.
I was like, objectively, but hearing a casuals fan saying that it was just an average Batman movie really puts it in perspective, because I kind of was at a 7.
Oh, wow, okay.
Just, because of on my own biases, but I think I'm down to a 6.
Yeah. I was at a 7 going into this review, but we talked it out, and all my things I had feelings about were validated by you explaining the backstory, and so it's like, thank God it's not just me overthinking it. It's like, cool. So this is actually lesser than a 7.
I do think it's an above average movie, though.
I don't think so. I think the monologue makes it above average, but that being said, the rest of it's kind of weak. So I think that monologue brings it up to an average movie. For me, again, this is me.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
I think, because I'll say it right now, I don't think that monologue's deserving. If it wasn't for the opening 5 minutes, that's why they put that 5 minutes in the beginning. If it wasn't for that, I don't think that monologue's deserving.
Well, that's why I wanted your opinions on that first 5 minutes before the rest of the movie.
Yeah. It's just because, like, you don't see Batman and after grieving. You don't see the detective side of it truly. You're just told this stuff happens. You don't see it. You don't feel it. You don't feel. That's the thing. You don't feel the things in the movie. So it's like, okay, you're telling me I should feel these things. I know these things, but I don't get it. So yeah, it's a 5. It's an average movie. It's 5. Because nothing's bad about this. It's just 5.
All right. I think with that, we're done talking to these people.
Yeah. Screw you people. Screw you Rotten Tomatoes critics that gave this 100.
Yeah, it's not 100. I mean, I could see someone giving it like an 8, but
not 100.
But if they were really into it, but a perfect score, I don't think it's perfect.
Yeah, that's why critics are idiots, just like our viewers.